All right, what's going on, y'all? I'm gonna talk about this triple header we got coming up. All right, you guys know 154 is my favorite division, so I love this card. This is I see that Showtime and PPC likes to put these cards together. They did one last year too with Trout against Jamal Charlo. I believe who else was on that card? I think this was when Lara fought Ronald Morozian in a rematch, and I know Jamel. I forgot who he fought on that card. But this card is a great card. Well, it would have been a great card if Laura was actually fighting someone that we care about. But they saying that they're gonna do the Demetrius Andre fight right after this fight. All right, that's what they saying. Now, you know what? Now that I'm speaking on that, I might as well just get that out of the way real quick. Laura's my guy. Y'all know Laura. Outside of probably Miguel Cotto, like Laura's like my favorite active fighter right now. He's been for years now, and I'm really disappointed, with Lara because I feel like after the Canelo fight, he just stopped really caring about fighting anybody good. All these guys he's fighting, all these blown up welterweights, all these tired 154 pounders that he's been facing. Um, I know he's making money fighting these guys and everything, but I don't know. He just got to a point where he just stopped caring. He stopped really caring. Now I know he's called out some fighters, over the years. Um, he has called out Andre. They both fake called out each other, at different points, and then when it came down to it, the fight didn't happen. I remember before Andre fought uh, Jack Colke or whatever that guy is. He fought that guy. Before that fight, he was saying, I'd rather fight Jack Colke because he's going to make a better fight. It's going to be a better fight. And that's when I'm like, yo, he was calling out Lara for all this time. Why you fighting him? You know what I'm saying? Um, I was pissed off then. And then Lara's the same way. Like, they both, like, I feel like they're both, usually most of the time, there's one fighter that is really ducking the other one, but they'll try very hard to make it seem like it's not. I think both of them really don't want to fight each other, but they making it seem like they do. I think both of them are ducking each other at this point because they've both been totally inconsistent in their careers. I've literally seen Andre say one thing in an interview and go on another interview and say a completely different thing within a week later. You know, like Andre's really like that, and Lara, he completely stopped caring about fighting tough fighters. Like I know he's called out certain fighters, but I don't believe in the call outs no more like that. Like it's one thing to call people out. Like I believe Errol Spence when he call out people because he really wants to fight them. But I feel like a lot of these other fighters just be calling people out, just saying their name just to get a buzz and keep something out there. Because these guys stay calling each other out and never make the fight happen. We never see anything happen from it. So I feel disappointed with Lara. Terrell Goucher, I've been watching him fight for a while because he's always been on the Showtime or undercards. He's been on some good undercards, like for a minute, and they're always broadcasting his fights. So I've been watching him for at least 3, 4 years now, fight professionally, and he's not really that good. In fact, he hasn't fought anyone good, but when he started stepping up a little bit, he has looked very unimpressive when he started gradually getting better. So Terrell Goucher is still, even though he's undefeated, he's still on the same level as some of the fighters that Lara has been facing, like the Yuri Formans and all the other guys that Lara has been fighting like recently. He's still on that same level, so don't get confused about the undefeated record. All right, I'm being honest, and this is a Lara fan telling you. I'm like, yo, when is he gonna fight? Like, and even recently, he did say he'll fight Jamel Charlo. He did call out. He did call out some people. All right, he did call out. He did fight. He did call out Jamel Charlo, not Jamal, because they're still with Ronnie Shields, right? But he did say I'll fight Jamel Charlo because he left camps. All right, so he switched camps. So he said he called out Jamel. He also called out Jared Hurd. Okay, he did call out some of these people. All right, but the fights are not happening, and you're fighting guys like this. I mean, at least Hurd is fighting Trout. I know Lara already beat Trout, but Hurd, that's a good step up for him. You know, that's a good challenge for him, especially with Trout's last performance against Jamal. Trout was the only fighter I thought that gave Jamal a really good fight. You know, I mean, J Rock did too, but J Rock got knocked out so early. But it was a great fight up until he got knocked out. But Trout, I actually thought that fight with Trout was a draw, you know? So, yeah, and then you got this Jamel Charlo fight against Erickson Lubin fight, which is the best fight on that card in my opinion, because Lubin is undefeated, Charlo's undefeated, and I I don't know, man, because Lubin, to me, like the way I look at Erickson Lubin, I think he has a lot of similarities to Errol Spence in my opinion. Great body puncher, southpaw, pressure fighter, flat footed, just comes forward. You know, he's just a come forward, stay busy guy. He's 21 years old. You know, he has punching power. He's good. He got the goods. I think if he fought Jamel Charlo before Jamel Charlo switched camps, I think he had a great chance of beating Jamel Charlo before Jamel Charlo switched camps. Now I know Jamel Charlo fought John Jackson, didn't look too good in that fight. That was his first fight over there. He did get the stoppage, but I know he was losing those rounds before that. But he's gradually improved since he moved over. In fact, he's fighting very, very similar to his brother. He's being extremely aggressive. Okay, extremely aggressive. He's going for the knockdown. He's sitting back. He's sitting on his punches. Okay, he's not the same fighter he was. He's not. And the thing is, and Charlo, and you know what? To be honest with you, I think Charlo's gonna win this fight because Charlo can always revert right back to his old style. All right, if he's coming forward on Lubin and it's not working out for him, he can always switch back and become that slick outboxer that he was before. He could also go right back to that. He doesn't have to fight the way he has fought Charles Hatley and all these other guys recently. But he's been getting nothing but stoppages recently. So I'm much more impressed with the way he's fighting now. Okay, because now he's going for the knockout. But at the same time, if he wants to go back on getting points and winning rounds, like back when he fought Gabe Rosado and Martirosyan back then, if he wants to go back to fighting that way, if that way is working for him, he can make that kind of adjustment. So I think Jamel's going to win that fight because I think he's overall just more well-rounded, okay? Lubin, as good as he looks, a decorated amateur, you know, had a lot of fights in amateur. As a professional, he just hasn't fought anyone. And for him to make this jump in opposite, to make this jump in improvement, I think he's less likely to win this fight. All right, he's less likely. I don't think this has to do with his age or anything. I just believe that the guys that he's been fighting, they're nowhere near on Jamel Charlo. Like he's not even slowly. Like I kind of look at it in the same way I did with Kell Brook and Errol Spence. But at least Errol Spence fought Chris Algieri. At least he fought what's the guy name? The guy from the Italian guy. Leonard Bundle. At least he fought those guys. At least he did that and fought some other common opponents that some of the champions has faced. Lubin, on the other hand, hasn't really done that yet. You know, he's actually just stepping up to one of the top 3 154 pounders and a guy that's actually in transitioning to becoming a better fighter in Charlo. He's actually in transition mode right now. He's very, very dangerous to fight for anyone to face. You know, I used to think like off top that a certain few number of fighters would beat Charlo. I don't no longer think that. I think he's dangerous for anyone at 154 right now, including Lara, including Andrade. I think he's that dangerous. Okay, I think Lubin's better than Hatley. I will say that. I think Lubin. I never was impressed with Hatley. I said that in the last. I don't even think I gave a real breakdown in that fight because I'd never been impressed with Hatley. I haven't been following him that long, not as long as a lot of other guys at 154. But when I finally did caught up on him, I was never impressed with Charles Hatley that much. I never was. It was never in one of the guys I spoke on highly of in the 154 videos that I've done. Okay. I do respect Lubin. I always thought that he was right there outside of the top 10, just waiting on his opportunity to get his shine and fighting one of the top guys at 154. But I didn't think it'd be like a top 3 guy. I didn't think it would be like Charlo or Lara or Andre. I didn't think it would be one of them. Or not even a Hurd. Hurd. Now, I think Charlo's gonna win that fight. I think Lubin has a good chance, but I think Charlo was the wrong one. I think he actually would have had a better chance of being Hurd, honestly, to be honest with you, because Charlo, he can make all these kind of adjustments, and he's really, really athletic. He's really, really fast. He's quick on his feet. I think he's just too much for Lubin. Lubin's just a little too slow. He's gonna be a little too slow for Charlo in that fight, in my opinion. Now, Hurd and Trout. That's just as good, almost as good as the Lubin and Charlo fight, because Trout is still there. He's still one of the top 10 guys at 154. He's a former champion. He lost his title to Alvarez. Which was a very debatable fight. Very, very debatable, regardless of the scorecards. Very, very debatable fight. I think Trout is still in there, and Hurd is very good. Hurd is very good, but he hasn't fought a Trout. He hasn't fought a dog like a Trout. Trout is very experienced. And Trout could win this fight. I was very impressed with Austin Trout's last fight. It was against Jamal. And as good as I think Hurd is, I don't think he's better than Jamal Charlo. I don't think he's better than him. I don't think he's far off, but I think Trout and Hurd is going to be a close fight. Hurd, from what I see, he's very good at walking guys down. Okay, extremely good counter puncher. Extremely good inside game. Okay, a very good guy as far as walking you down. Flat-footed, walking, coming forward fighter. Okay. He does a lot of things. He has a great shoulder roll defense. He's good. He's gonna try to walk Trout down, just like he said in the press conference. He's going to try to walk Trout down. Trout's very experienced, and Trout could fight and bang with you. You can't sleep on him. Might not have that crazy knockout power, but he's pretty durable. He's been down, but he's always gotten back up. He gets down, So I think it's gonna be a great fight. I think it's going to be an action-packed fight. I think Trout is going to get hurt at some point. I think he can win rounds against a Hurd, though. I think he can win a lot of rounds against Hurd. I think it's going to go to decision. And I think if it does go to a decision, I think it's going to be another controversial one, regardless of who they choose. I think either Trout or Hurd could either pull that one off. I'm still leaning towards Hurd just a little bit. But I'm not sure, because I like Trout's experience. I think his experience might play a key role in this fight. But it's a great fight. I think both of those fights are going to be explosive. I actually think both of those fights should have been the main event fights, and the Lara should have been the first fight between the three, because I know Lara's been in there with bigger names and everything like that. But Lara's fighting a guy that he's supposed to beat. I think Terrell Goucher would lose to anyone else on this card. And for Lara to be the most experienced and most successful boxer on this card, he's fighting the weakest opponent. I think whoever you think the second weakest opponent here or fighter here is on this card, they're much better than Terrell Goucher. Lubin is much better than Goucher. Trout, Hurd, Jamel Charlo, all of these guys are much better than Goucher. Goucher is not even a top 20 154 pounder, in my opinion. I hate that. I know that's going to sound bad, but he's not. He's not. And he has proven. There's some season 5. There's some cedar fighters out there that I still think would beat Goucher today. I think Ishai Smith might beat Goucher today. Still. All right. So let me know what you guys think. I love this card. I just wish Goucher wasn't a part of it as far as in this level. I just don't think he's ready for Lara. And I think, honestly, to be honest with you, I think Goucher has peaked as a fighter. I don't think he's going to be any better than what he is. Because I haven't seen improvements, and I've watched him fight plenty of times because he's always on the undercard. And he was always that guy that was like, yo, why they keep showing this guy? Like, is he really that good? He and like Dominic Wade or like two guys that I used to always see fight. And I was like, yo, why do I keep seeing this guy on Showtime or undercards? They're not really that good. And as soon as they fight someone good, they're going to lose. And that's what happened with Wade when he fought Triple G. And it's going to happen again now with Goucher fighting Lara. All right, so let me know what you guys think. It's a great card. I can't wait for it. It's my favorite division. But after this card, these champions need to fight each other. Lara needs to handle his business with Andrade. And Jamel needs to fight, what's his call? His name, or Hurd, or whoever the winners are. Whoever the winners are of these fights, they need to fight each other. But Lara, who's definitely going to win, needs to fight Andre. I don't want to see any other fight between those two. And that goes for Andre too. Okay? But the winner of Jamel, Charlo, and Lubin needs to fight the winner of Hurd and Trout. Seriously. Because none of those guys fought each other yet. I know Jamal fought Trout, but Jamel didn't fight. So if he beats Lubin or if Lubin wins, I would like to see some of these guys because these fights are great. These cards are great. But we need to see some of these champions fight each other. That's just my opinion, right? So I'm out. This is my last one for the day. Make sure you watch the Triple G Canelo card, and I'm out.